Next we have is large intestine. This is the large intestine. It contains three parts, that is the colon, cecum and rectum. This is the ascending colon, this is the descending colon. The food from the small intestine when moves towards the large intestine, it takes 4 hours to move. Clear? In large intestine also there is no enzyme present and nor it form any enzyme. It absorbs all the water and removes all undigested food out of our body in the form of feces. Its function is the large intestine secretes no enzyme, it absorbs much water but very little digested food from the contents, which mainly consist of undigested material. After much water is absorbed, the contents become semi-solid, that is known as feces, which pass out into the rectum and are expelled at intervals. The expulsion of the undigested remains of the food from the alimentary canal is called defecation, and the process by which the undigested food comes out of our body, that process is known as the defecation, and that food, the semi-solid particles are known as feces. And the feces are normally composed of nearly 75% water, 25% of solid matter, 30% dead bacteria, 2 to 3% of proteins, 10 to 20% fat and 30% of roughage. Next we have is assimilation of food. What it means? Assimilation is the conversion of the absorbed digested food into body material. Means how the food that has been digested will absorbed by our body, that is the body material. The food digested and absorbed by the gut are transported in two ways. There are two main ways through which the food digested is absorbed by the gut. First is hepatic portal system and second is through lymphatic system. Simple sugars, amino acids, vitamins and minerals etc. are carried to the liver by the hepatic portal vein, where the liver converts any excess glucose. अगर तुम्हारी बॉडी में कोई excess glucose है तो उसको जो liver है किस में convert कर देगा? ग्लाइकोजन में. Clear? Which can be temporarily stored. बिकॉज ग्लूकोज स्टोर नहीं कर सकते हम, लेकिन ग्लाइकोजन जो फॉर्म है वो उसमें स्टोर कर सकते हैं. दिस प्रोसेस इज नोन एज ग्लाइकोजेनेसिस एंड इस प्रोसेस को हम क्या बोलते हैं? ग्लाइकोजेनेसिस. ग्लाइकोजेनेसिस में क्या होता है? जो एक्सेस ग्लूकोज प्रेजेंट होता है उसको जो लिवर है कन्वर्ट कर देता है ग्लाइकोजन में. When needed, the liver reconverts the glycogen into glucose. And if in case our body needs energy, then again the liver converts the glycogen into glucose. And this process is known as glycogenolysis. The amino acids क्या थे? Proteins के सबसे छोटे molecules that circulate in the body and they serve as building blocks of the proteins. The amino acids cannot be stored. Any excess amino acids are broken down in the liver by a process called deamination. Deamination का मतलब है कि इसमें जो नाइट्रोजन प्रेजेंट होती है उसको रिमूव कर देते हैं. क्या कौन रिमूव कर देता है? लिवर में ये ब्रेक डाउन होते हैं, जो नाइट्रोजन होती है प्रेजेंट प्रोटीन्स में वो रिमूव हो जाती है एंड दैट प्रोसेस इज नोन एज द deamination. And then the proteins are stored in our body. The fatty acids and glycerol absorbed by the gut are transported mainly through the intestinal villi and lymphatic system. Some fats are used in the synthesis of certain compounds in the body cells and the excess quantity is deposited chiefly below the skin as a subcutaneous fat or around certain visceral organs in the smaller quantity. कुछ फैट्स जो हैं वो सर्टेन कंपाउंड्स बनाने के लिए यूज़ हो जाते हैं और अगर एक्सेस फैट बच जाता है तो वो कहाँ पे डिपॉजिट हो जाता है? हमारी स्किन के बीनीथ, जो किस में रिजल्ट करता है? हमारी बॉडी फैट में. लास्ट वी हैव इज लिवर. It is the largest gland of the body and its weight is 1.5 kg on an average. It is reddish brown organ located in the upper right side of the abdomen just below the diaphragm. Here are the functions of the liver that is not in your syllabus but you have to read these functions. So just give a thorough reading to this chapter and with this your chapter is completed and your syllabus also. Thank you so much.